Blighty Boxing, Frank Warren and Queensberry with Mr. Ellis Zorro, jeweller to the stars. How are you, mate?
Still doing that. Yeah, good, man. Really good. Big fight coming up against Dec Spelman.
Yeah. 2
weeks on Friday. So
September 16.
Yeah, York Hall. And Denzel Bentley's undercard for the British title. And
surely,
feeling good.
Surely you're classifying that as a co-main, aren't you?
Looking at the card, I think I am. Well,
you're not letting him have that, are you?
I would guess that I am. I would guess that I am. Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised you gave that one away so easily. Anyway, so last time we spoke, we covered the fact that you'd come out of the boxer competition, you signed up with Frank, and now you're straight into, like I say, right high up the bill at York Hall. I presume you're saying it kind of vindicates the sort of decisions you've taken.
Yeah, and that's the kind of direction I want to go in. I was pleased that, you know, Martin and Frank have decided to put me in against such an opponent, not just kind of give me an easy, welcoming fight. Does that make sense? So after this one, I look to push on to titles kind of ASAP, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm going.
Sometimes it can be an international opponent that nobody knows. And even if he's good, you're not really going to get any credit.
You don't really get the credit for it, but with this one, I'll get the credit. We know who he's fought. We know how he's done, how he's conducted himself in those fights. So yeah, I think it, like I said to you off camera, I think it'll be a test for me as well. I think it'll be a good fight. Also,
what we said off camera, this isn't the sort of fight where you get on the circuit, is it?
Yeah.
You've got to be a TV fighter
in order
to have these sort of fights, because let's be blunt about it, they're too expensive to do off TV,
exactly.
aren't they?
They're not gonna. He's not gonna get a little bit of money for it, so yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
Now you're fighting against someone who's moving up, so I mean he's probably going to be nowhere near the weight, which is going to give him a lot of leeway when it comes to training and feeling good. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, I did see an interview actually with him. I can't remember when it was, but it was after the Arthur fight, and he was saying that he was drained at the weight. So he's not going to be drained now. It is, like you say, it is a big jump up. I'm not a massive cruiserweight.
It's a ridiculous jump.
Yeah, I think it's like 11 kilos or something like that.
Between all the weights, that one's just mad. Isn't it?
And I don't know how tall he is. Maybe like 5'10".
Not that tall,
yeah, I'm 6'1". But he has had, I think this will be his third fight at the weight now, or at least his second. I know he stopped Stevie Taylor at cruiserweight, so yeah, we'll see. Other than his style, being a pressure fighter and a come forward fighter, I'm not going to take too much from his fights at light heavyweight because it's a different weight. So yeah, we'll see.
Obviously he's someone but you'd have been aware of for a few years, isn't he? Because he's been in decent fights.
Yeah, I think he's fought for English title.
Hasn't he?
He fought Pitters for the English. Obviously there was that whole thing with him, Yard and Arthur. Yeah. So yeah, I've been aware of him.
And he was champion, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he beat, I can't remember the boy's name now, he was a good amateur from Surrey.
Oh, Kurt Garvey?
Yeah,
Kurt Garvey. That was for the English. Yeah, I watched that fight.
He was the champion, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, it's a good fight. It will be, I think he's going to come and push me back, put pressure on me. So yeah, we'll see, but I'm ready for it, you know.
By the way, Dens, we've just been discussing whether Ellis is actually co-main event on the 16th.
Are you? I thought you before the cameras got there.
Yeah.
Co-main, or is he on the undercard? We're not sure.
Nah, undercard. That's my guy. You know, I brought him in. My dog, co-main. Co-main, that's co-main.
Let him have that one.
That's it, come on, trust me. But no, like, I am actually looking forward to it. I think, I'll be honest, Jamie Smith was a good opponent. But I think Dec Spelman will be a harder one, and stylistically I think it will be a much better fight. I think Dec is going to try to drag me into you know, quote unquote deep waters. I don't think he has, and he probably can know this by looking at me, he probably hasn't got much of a chance if he tries to stand on the outside and box with me. So I think he's going to, you know, push the pace.
It's not his game anyway.
Yeah, not exactly. So I think he's going to push the pace and try to stay on my chest, and so yeah, the fans will be in for a good fight, which is what I need, because being on TV and being on a Frank Warren show, I need to be in an engaging fight.
You're 17 now, aren't you?
No, I'm 14 now. This will be 15.
15.
Yeah.
I thought you did a 3.
Yeah, I went from 11 to 14.
Oh right, okay. Now, in those 14, be honest, how many of them have really tried to put it on you?
I guess just the guys like the boxer, really. I mean, to be honest, I had Aussie Jervy in my night fight, and he was coming off a defeat for the Southern area at the time. So he put it on me a bit. That was kind of like my tester. But yeah, then I would say Jamie Smith. But I'm not really worried about that, you know, because
You're not 100% familiar with it, are you?
In a live fight situation, I would say no, but in sparring, all the time. You know, everyone that comes here, you know, and I probably spar better guys than I obviously spar better guys than I fought, and I spar better guys than Dec. So yeah.
How do you see this fight going? I mean, are you going to be able to be your sort of like quite relaxed, sort of content, flicking it out, pinging him, you know, sort of quite confident in there, you know, sort of where you sort of float about, largely untroubled, you know, wondering whether you need to move from one gear to the next? Yeah.
No, I think for myself, I want to go through the gears. I want to, you know, especially being on that, being co-main event and being in that position. I want to, but I think stylistically, I've got the ability to also go through the way. Yeah, don't you? I can. Yeah.
But have you had a fight really where you've had to bring out the dog?
Not a fight, no.
Is it there?
Yeah, trust me. Trust me. Trust me. It's definitely there. Yeah, it's there.
Would you like to bring him out? Or would you prefer to sort of ease into it?
You know, not to be, you know, too deep about it, but obviously boxing is hit and not be hit.
Yeah, but that's boring.
This is where, you know. But if someone can bring it out of me, and I think as the levels go on, people will, and I won't have a chance, because I won't be able to just plod my way through rounds.
Well, I know it's wrong, and this is a sport, and you're exactly right in what you say about the hit not being hit. But those fighters who are I won't name names, but the fighters that do that brilliantly, no one really wants to watch them. They can't get fights. They're in the who needs them club because opponents aren't interested.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying.
It's a dangerous road to go down.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm going to find a happy medium, because, like I said, I could just coast my way through this fight, but I'm going to want to. That's the pressure that I'm putting on myself. I'm going to want to put on, you know, like a devastating performance, and I know what the fans want, and it's not just knockouts, but it's like clean, heavy punches. You know, so
we need the exciting flurries and
exactly
get the fans on their feet. Yeah. So how many you got coming?
About 100.
Decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because when you're on TV, a lot of people are like, oh, I'll just tune in and watch it. Yeah. But they don't know that, you know, you still would like to have people there, you know, so, but yeah, about 100.
How do you go about it? I mean, I'm taking you're not a pub goer and things like that. I mean...
What, selling tickets?
Yeah, I mean, how do you sort of go about enlarging your circle to... I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to find 100 friends to sell a ticket.
Yeah, in our day and age, it's like social media. I'm not big on Twitter, but I'm quite big on Instagram. Not say big like following, but I use Instagram. Engage, yeah, I use Instagram quite a lot, and I get a lot of engagement from people on Instagram. So mainly Instagram, but obviously everyone in my area, like I'm from Lewisham, everyone knows that I box. And just being out and around in my area.
So if you went into the local boozer, people might know who you are. And
maybe not local pubs, because that's not really my...
But that's probably where you need to put the posters up, isn't it?
Yeah,
that and the chip shop, the kebab shop, the curry house.
Oh, I'll put them in the barber shop and stuff like that. Yeah, but the pub and the chip shop and whatever, it's not necessarily my...
Kebab house.
Kebab house. I got one in kebab house, actually. Yeah, but mainly barbers.
Yeah. Especially if people are pissed, they might start ringing the number and buying the ticket, you know.
It's not a bad commitment, is it, they're making?
Beat Dec Spelman. How quickly, where and how quickly do you think you can get to? You know, relatively, you know, in the next half a year to a year?
Realistically, it depends. If I go out and I blow him away in the second round, you know, one would only...
Big statement.
Exactly, it's a big statement. One would only expect that I...
Of course, we'll all say he was only in light heavyweight, you know.
Yeah, they'll always want to find something to talk down. Talk down your performance. Now I'm ready for that. But if I was to like coast or you know, get a split over 8 rounds and, you know, he was in the fight a lot, then we might have to reassess. But when I look around, like I saw Chris Villan fight Isaac, that's a fight that, you know, within 12 months, I'd like that.
Be nice to get into that mix, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right? This is what I'm saying.
They all seem fairly willing to fight each other, don't they? Which is refreshing.
I think other than Lawrence Okoli, who's got a lot of world title experience, everyone is kind of Dion Jumar, Mikhail Lawal, Richard Riakporhe, Chris Villan, Isaac. Everyone is... They've just had a few more, they've just got a bit more experience. But skill level, everyone is kind of in the same place.
Yeah, they've had that gut check, haven't they?
Yeah, could say, which is what people were going to say that I haven't had, you know. But, you know, I'm ready to be thrown in, man. I'd love, after Dec Spelman, I'd love to, you know, I'd like to fight for the British, like ASAP. Like you said, there's an international route, but I'd rather fight people domestically that everybody knows.
There.
Yeah, well, there's opponents there. So yeah.
Last question: are you back at work yet?
No.
Have you done any work since you?
No, I've not done that. Well, the only work I've been doing is this.
So you
I knew that was gonna come out.
You haven't sold any bling.
Not me personally, no. Listen, I got Dec Spelman. I gotta be focused, you know.
Right, you obviously don't have to answer this question accurately, but how much of that 40 grand you got left then?
Over half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone's had a little treat then.
I got a holiday booked. I'm going Turkey after this fight. But obviously, I don't know if you know, but I did a lot for my daughter with her speech and language therapy. That cost an arm and a leg. But yeah, I ain't bought nothing. I ain't bought no cars.
You've started something now. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay, right. So
tell me something. So
yeah, she's 5. She's 5. She was diagnosed with autism when she was.
What's her name?
Callie. Callie. Yeah. She was diagnosed with autism when she was 18 months, and.
How did they tell?
Well, she developed quite quickly. Like she was talking and responding to her name kind of early, and then there was like a regression or a relapse, if you like, and it kind of stopped doing that, if that makes sense, and just showing signs, like general autistic signs. And then when she went into nursery, it was more evident, not engaging with other kids, not engaging with adults. So yeah, she's just done 1 year in reception at a mainstream school where she had a 1-to-1, but she needs to be moved into a special school because she's going into year 1. She's going to struggle, so she's going into a special school, but she hasn't got a place in the school until January. Because
so you're doing the old private tuition, eh?
Basically, yeah. Until January.
Interesting in the autism. I mean, I think most of us don't really know what it involves, or what the signs are.
I think it's a very.
I don't think we have this because, like I say, there is so many different sort of levels of it.
Yeah, it's like a broad spectrum. But I've learnt in the last 5 years. I didn't like before I had my daughter. I didn't actually know really much about it, and you won't unless
you can't tell, can you?
No, like with some you can, with others you can't. But you don't know if it's like autism or if it's something else. But you'll know there's something. You know, like
years and years ago, probably people put it down to acute shyness and things like that.
You know
before you could actually find out what it was.
Like 20 years ago, I don't remember anyone having it, or it being acknowledged like that. It was just probably put down to bad behaviour or disruptive, or you understand. But yeah.
So what's Callie's sort of speech and everything like now, her engagement?
Her engagement is getting better. Like her eye contact's getting better. She's just running to her name. She's able to copy you if you ask her to clap and give 5 and give a kiss and blah blah blah. Happy. Yeah, very, very, very happy. Yeah,
that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's my concern. You know what I mean?
At that age, you don't want to feel there's
actual communication is quite limited unless she's singing. So we do a little bit of music therapy. But outside of music therapy, she doesn't necessarily talk. Like if she's, how do I say, frustrated or annoyed, she might let out the odd no or go away, something like that. But yeah.
Difficult now. So, while schooling is obviously a vital part of the progression, at the same time it's probably the biggest stress, isn't it? Because you're thrown into a big pool, and it's not easy. If you're at a disadvantage, it could make you quite unhappy, couldn't it?
Yeah, which is kind of why we've decided, along with the school as well, to take her out of that, because it was just, she was there with the other kids, but she was by herself. Does that make sense? So let's get her into a proper school where it can really benefit her.
I suppose the advantage of you only being a part-time worker, you can spend a lot more time at home, and
I can do the school run, and that's the benefit of boxing as well. Like I train in the morning, I kind of somewhat have my own schedule as a professional boxer, other than being here. So yeah, I'm very involved, to be fair. Yeah.
When you're going to bring her along to watch the old boy box?
I was thinking to bring her along, but you know what? I'll be so worried about her. You know, understand, like, or who's with her, or especially if it's like a rowdy crowd. I wouldn't want that.
It could be one of these things. It could either be a disaster, or it could really bring her out.
Really, like a good lesson. Yeah. I'll have to think about it.
The
Probably not this
event and being around people cheering for daddy and all that, and sort of like.
No, she'd like that. Yeah,
but there's plenty of time, isn't there?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Well, good luck on the 16th.
Thank you.
Hope you smash it. And,
thank you. Yeah, I will.
And then come out and watch the headliner.
Yeah, I will. I'll be right there.
Good
Cheers,
man.
Rich.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you. Take care.